JRTV is back with NASCAR Winston Cup Series action from the Texas Motor Speedway. This is race number 13 of the 2002 season, the Samsung RadioShack 500. I'm Joe Kelsey, alongside me in the booth. It is Trey Bardo. Trey, you've never found success in terms of winning here at the Texas Motor Speedway, but this track is always a chaotic racetrack to come to. Each of the previous 5 Texas races have had a caution in the first 10 laps of this race. What is it that makes Texas so much more chaotic than some of the other mile-and-a-half racetracks that we have on the schedule?
Well, Joe, I mean, honestly, it's going to be the fact that the cars, whenever they come off the corners here, they kind of gravitate towards the top. So if it's bad timing with someone on your outside, you're going to come up into them. And last time I was here, I was on top of a couple other guys, right?
Yeah, you were crowd surfing down into turn number 1. I don't know what that was about. I don't know how that happened, Trey, but it was a pretty big crash for that to happen.
I don't remember. All I know is the car got real quiet when I was in the air, and then all of a sudden I was back on the ground. So I learned not to question things on how they work in these cars sometimes, but it was definitely a unique experience.
Well, Trey, a driver that might have been crowd surfing in a good way after yesterday's qualifying session is our pole sitter, Anthony Hernandez. He tied Mathis Wells' time. They had the exact same time down to the 1,000th of a second, but since Hernandez' car is higher in owner's points than the number 20 of Mathis Wells, Hernandez is on pole at his home track of the Texas Motor Speedway and looking, Trey, for his 8th straight finish inside the top 6 after a win last race at Richmond.
I feel like there could have been a cooler way that we could have settled who got the pole, especially since we're here in Texas. Like maybe Gator wrestling, best one to do it.
I thought you were going to go to like a duel type thing, but then we wouldn't have someone starting second. So
yeah, exactly. Well, Gator wrestling I feel like is a little safer.
Yeah, just a little bit, I think.
I think it'll draw a crowd.
Well, maybe we can hand that idea to someone that can do something about it, and we'll put on another show for the fans here at the Texas Motor Speedway besides the race.
NASCAR drivers go gator wrestling.
We'll see if that becomes the future. But starting beside Hernandez is Mathis Wells, who's had a lot of success here at Texas Motor Speedway. His 2 races, he has a victory back in 2000. He started last because of inspection, but ended up winning the race back in 2000. His teammate Jericho actually finished right behind him in second. So Trey, Mathis knows how to get around this Texas Motor Speedway in a quick manner. Could he be one to try and upset Anthony Hernandez at home here at Texas?
I know he would love to. I mean, this 20 team has got to find something to get them, on some sort of momentum, because I feel like we really haven't talked about them too much, and that goes for Joe Gibbs as a whole.
Yeah, Joe Gibbs Racing has had a very inconsistent season. There are races where they run up inside the top 5, top 10. They're battling for the win, and then there's other races where they just kind of lay an egg and go around and finish 15th, 16th. They don't really do anything during the race. So we'll have to see if this is one of those up races for Joe Gibbs Racing. They've run well here in the past. We'll see if they can do it again. Speaking of running well in the past 2 races here at the Texas Motor Speedway, we've had some of the slowest cars in the field end up running up towards the front throughout the 67 laps. Think back to 2000. It was Walker Davis in the Tyler Jet Motorsports car, a car that finished last in points in terms of owner's points. The number 10 ran well all day long. In fact, was running down the race leader at one point, trying to take the lead away before yellow came out. He finished well in that one. Last season, Brandon Beal in the slowest car in the field, PPI Motorsports number 96 McDonald's Ford, ended up finishing in 3rd place in this race. And now here today, Trey, we have some of the underdogs starting well with Bertrand Crown Jr. in 5th. Evan Hunter with MB2 Motorsports. They have an alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing through the end of this year. He starts in 8th. Jack Hansford Jasper starts in 9th. We look back, Noah Clifton in 13th. Diego Yepes in 14th. So Trey, could we see another underdog possibly run well here at the Texas Motor Speedway for the 3rd season in a row?
Oh, we definitely could, Joe. I mean, this is the closest thing to a super speedway that's not a super speedway type of track. I mean, we're going to be seeing pack racing here, which, again, leads to our first topic of big wrecks. So, I mean, as long as these smaller teams are able to avoid those things, they can definitely see themselves up front by the end of this.
And we'll see if it's one of them that's starting well today or someone who's starting maybe a little bit further back in the field that can work their way through the madness and run well right at the very end. And speaking of having to work your way through the madness, 2 cars failed inspection after qualifying yesterday. Jordan Stout will start 41st in the number 6 car. His tough luck continues this season, especially with inspection. And starting back in 42nd, it's Laura Chung in the number 9 car. She actually failed post-qualifying inspection twice. And Trey, last season, Anthony Hernandez had that same issue at the Richmond International Raceway. He got a 15-point penalty because of it. So Trey, if NASCAR is giving out the same penalties, it would be a 15-point penalty for Laura Chung, but we won't know until they reveal their penalties later in the week.
I mean, we've seen NASCAR be consistent with penalties one time this season, right? Was it for wasn't it intentionally wrecking or something along those lines?
Yeah, it was under the caution at Talladega. It was the same exact penalty that was given back way back in 2000. So they've done a really good job with it. We'll see if, I don't know if there's some terminology in the rulebook where they maybe extended the penalty for it or lessened the penalty. We'll just have to see what NASCAR gives Laura Chung in that number 9 team.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see it. I know you're anxiously waiting.
Yeah. It's tough to be in this position, Trey, but it happens. It's racing, and we'll see what NASCAR gives Laura Chung in the number 9 team in terms of a penalty. As we take a look at our Ford Fast Facts here for the Texas Motor Speedway, mostly clear skies. There are blue skies above the racetrack, even though the camera angle we're looking at right now sees a lot of very dark clouds off in the distance. Above the racetrack, the sun is out, and there are blue skies. We'll have to see if it continues like that or if those gray clouds come over the racetrack. It's a very hot day here, 80 degrees. I think it's the warmest race day of the season. 4 miles an hour wind in the east direction and a smaller 15% chance of rain. We should be fine to stay dry here at the Texas Motor Speedway. This race is 67 laps long, 100.5 miles. The fuel window is 40 to 45 laps. Watch for that. Last season, the pit stops occurred under the caution flag because we had 6 cautions in the race. We'll see if it stays calmer this season and if we get maybe some green flag pit stops or if we still get those yellows and have the pit stops occur under the caution flag. And now for some facts about the track itself. It's 1.5 miles in length with 24 degrees of banking in the turns and 5 degrees on the straights. It's a newer racetrack built in 1996 and held its first race here in 1997. And since there's only been 5 races, Ford has won 2 of those 5 races, and the last 5 Texas races have been won by 5 different drivers. No one has ever won multiple races at the Texas Motor Speedway. 2 drivers can try and change that. They start 2nd, Mathis Wells, and 6th, Matthew Burnett. They won here in 2000 and 2001 respectively. It's about time to get going here at the Texas Motor Speedway, the Samsung RadioShack 500. Let's go down track sign, get the command to fire the engines up.
Start your engines.
42 cars fire up. They're moving here at the Texas Motor Speedway to do battle in the Samsung RadioShack 500 race number 13 of the season. Trey starting in 3rd place. Riley Spurgeon has had a very quiet, underrated season for Robert Yates Racing. Entered last race inside the top 5 of the points, but unfortunately was caught up in someone else's mess and finished poorly, dropped some positions in points. But Trey starting 3rd place. The team starting well with Luke Rennie back in 11th. Could this be redemption for Robert Yates Racing here at Texas?
It definitely could be, and imagine if both of them if they both get their cars inside the top 10. I mean, that's just going to up this team, and I honestly think they can slowly become a force to be reckoned with here.
And then a few rows back, Comrade Evans in the number 31. Under a lot of scrutiny after the race at Richmond, spinning Eli Bright within the first 5 laps. Eli did not accept his apology. Then Comrade went and gave his thoughts about Eli not accepting the apology in the media. So he's been under a lot of scrutiny throughout this week, and now he has to try and block out the noise train, try and go for that points because he's the one second in points, chasing down Keyshawn Richardson for Roush Racing.
I mean, Joe, let's be honest, it's not the first time he's had a week like this, right? But I think, weird to say, I think he's used to it by now, so we'll have to see how he can, race with all this pressure on him.
Well, he has a good starting spot. We'll have to see if he can get it done for Richard Childress Racing this season. The pace car is in. The Texan Anthony Nance will lead the field to the green flag. Mathis Wells, previous Texas winner, in 2nd. There we go. The green flag is waving for the Samsung RadioShack 500. Trey, very even start. These front runners are 2x2, door to door, racing off into turns 3 and 4 for the first time. Evans looking 3 wide for 5th as Anthony Nance clears Wells off 4, trying to lead the first lap of this race.
Wow, did you see how loose that 17 and the 43 got coming off of 4 there?
Yeah, it's getting dicey early on. Look at this!
Richardson!
I think he drove it and saw the 31 coming up behind and said, I have to get down low, and barely got down in line.
I don't know how he made that stick.
I think Evans and Wells are wondering that too. Here he goes for the lead, the points leader, not playing around early on.
But Evans is actually going to cut lower than he did.
3 wide through the quad oval one, the narrowest parts of the racetrack. Riley Sprinter leads on the outside. Richards in the middle. Evans down low, and Mathis also starts second, trying to move back up on the inside. We're looking 3 wide again for the lead through 1 and 2.
What has gotten into these guys?
It's Texas, Trey. That's all you need
was
to
that
know.
Richardson into the wall there? I didn't know if he touched it or not.
I think he scraped it a little bit, but he's back in line, back going. He didn't hit it that hard. Mathis Wells started second. He's out in front. Noah Clifton for PPI. 3 wide. Move for second place in the number 32.
These guys are absolutely trying everything they can, and here comes a guy we honestly have not really talked about much, Joe, and he's our reigning champion.
Yeah, Chris Jericho has that win at Martinsville. That's the only bright spot on this season. As Richardson and Evans first and second in points, they rubbed and banged through 1 and 2. But Jericho up to third. Mitchell Collins, another driver we haven't really talked about. He's up to 4th place for Penske.
And here comes the 40 of Sarah Kirchner, who's honestly has had a really good season so far in this 40 car.
Yes, she has. For coming in, late and running with the big guns at some points throughout this season. Currently up in 6th place, right behind Anthony Ramirez, who's been on a hot streak. Now Collins moves to 3rd place, gained by Jericho. Here comes Ramirez on the bottom, but they're all chasing Mathis Wilson. Noah Clifton to pull away 1-2 down the back straight.
I'm honestly impressed with how clean the start was from all the things we've seen so far in this race. That these guys have kept it pretty clean. Now I'm hoping not to jinx it, knocking on wood right now, but I've been very impressed, and so far it seems like this 20 and 32 are making themselves clear of everyone else.
Well, it's interesting, Trey, because we've known the stats from the first 5 races here at Texas in the Winston Cup Series. There's always been a caution flag in those 5 races in the first 10 laps. So far, we've gone 5 laps caution-free, looking to make it a 6th, and still no signs of a yellow flag. This could be close. These are Alliance teammates going at Jericho on the inside and Evan Hunter on the outside. They got close, but luckily got away from each other. Jericho gets the pass made on Evan Hunter into turn 1.
Yeah, I don't know if they meant to get that close, or if I don't know if Jericho maybe slid up the track a little bit, or if Evans came down. But luckily they were able to keep it off each other here. And where did this 44 come from?
Well, he was one of the top 3 cars in practice, Trey, so we know he has a fast race car under him. He started 14th. He's moved up nicely, now up inside the top 5. In front of them, the battle for 3rd tightens up. Mitchell Collins has it. Hernandez, the homegrown hero. He wants it. 7 laps complete, still no caution flag. We're still caution-free. Here's a good battle. Matthew Burnett 3 wide. Kirchner all the way up the racetrack in the 40 and narrowly keeps that car out of the outside concrete.
This is they're starting to flirt with it, Joe, but so far they haven't crossed the line of no return, so that's always a good thing. Careful, Stout. That was close.
Stout, I think he's a little angry because his season has been a roller coaster of emotions. You think about, he won at Homestead, then learned that he failed inspection afterwards, so that he didn't get to keep the points. He kept the trophy and the money, but I'm sure it kind of soured the mood, and he's been up and down in points and all around, and he's still trying to find some success. Then he failed post-qualifying, especially here yesterday, not having the best of qualifying results, and now here he is, Trey, marching his way up inside the top 10, so within 10 laps, Trey, from the last row to top 10.
Yeah, it seems like this guy either, is having a good day, or he fails inspection either post-race or pre-race.
Never
is
fails
that a bad thing to say?
It is.
But that got close between the 28 and the 48 coming off.
It's the truth, Trey, unfortunately, for George Stout. And he just kind of has to live with this. He has his teammate DeLudlow, who also has to come from the back. He's working his way up nicely. So now all 4 of the Roush cars running inside the top 10 as we complete the 10th lap, Trey. And this is the longest we've gone under the green from the start in a Texas race in the Winston Cup Series.
I mean, look how spread out everyone is, though. So, that's definitely got to have some sort of, effect on it. And, I don't think we're complaining, right, Joe?
No, we're not. Polar opposite of this race last season, where we had 6 cautions in the 67 laps. Trey, that's an average of a caution nearly every 10 laps.
Well, maybe these guys know that they know what's coming up next week, and they know the history of that. So maybe their owners told them, hey, let's just take it easy this time around, and if there's a time to go all out, it's for, the upcoming race.
As Trey mentioned, it's the longest race of the season next time out at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, the World 600, and maybe they're trying to keep this race green so it goes by very, very fast, and it'll make next week's race seem a little bit
last year of next week's race last year was definitely the longest one I've ever sat through.
I think that was the longest Winston Cup Series race ever. So
it was a doozy, but I know a couple of guys making this race go really fast is this 20 and 32, and slowly actually it's gonna become this number 1 as well, because they've been out front ever since the start of this thing.
And And the points leader, Keyshawn Richardson, being very aggressive. Just moved by Mitchell Collins for 4th, and here comes Matthew Burnett for 5th. Collins tried to get down, but couldn't do it, so now Roush is up to 4th and 5th, and then there are other 2 cars. You have DeLello up to 9th. He got by Stout, who's starting to drop back, and here's a good balance. Collins goes wide. Here comes Yepes through the middle, and Jericho all the way on the white line. I think Yepes lifted for Collins, or else 3 cars would have been crashed down the back straight.
Yeah, I don't know if that 44 was trying to put the gap through the middle there, or if he maybe thought better of it, but I'm not quite sure what exactly happened, but they all got out of it, so that's the main thing there. You know who died off that I don't see up front anymore, or even in the top 10, Joe? It's that 31.
Yeah, Conrad Evans comes in 2nd in the point standings, and he's really faded out outside the top 10. He's currently back in 16th. In fact, he's back there with his teammate Sebastian Kukulan, who had to start this race way in the back because he was one of the slowest cars in qualifying.
Yeah, so it's definitely, I don't think RCR brought their stuff here today, which is weird because they've been, arguably that was close right there, but they've been arguably the strongest team all season so far. So maybe a very rare off week for these guys?
Well, it was around this time last season, Trey, where, Chris Jericho started to fade off, and Hendrick Motorsports, especially Brett Sears, started to come alive.
Was close.
As Kukulan to lift right there, and there's their other car, Justin Atkins, right behind them.
Yeah, so they have a, what is this, just about top 20 car team this week's at the moment.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of time left, Trey. We're only, 50 laps to go next time by. So if we get a yellow flag or 2 during this race, we can easily see this team rise up and try and move back forward. And speaking of rising up, Hunter Reed was the slowest car in qualifying. He started this race in 40th place, and now he's working his way up. Trey just got by Nolan Lawrence, just got by Fitzwater. He's now up inside the top 20 and trying to move his way up towards the top 15. So Hunter Reed, the rookie, once again, Trey, having another very, very impressive result.
Yeah, and it seems like all these rookies or all these, mid-tier teams seem to impress us week in and week out. So I'm starting to wonder, Joe, when is it going to become a regular thing to us that some of these guys are really outperforming their equipment?
Yeah, I think it's time for us to realize up here that some of these guys are actually very good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But again, I just will be impressed. Like the 32, he's honestly, I don't know about you, but I feel like he's outperforming his stuff here, and he's not let this 20 of one of the top tier teams of Joe Gibbs really get away from him.
Yeah, and you think about last season, Trey, it was Brandon Beal for PPI Motorsports that finished this race in 3rd place. Remember that 3-wide photo finish at the line for 2nd? Well, Brandon Beal was 3rd in that, and he got credit with that 3rd place result. Now Noah Clifton for that same organization, trying to now work his way up and finish inside the top 3, currently in 2nd, but they're being hunted down, Trey, by the points leader Keyshawn Richardson.
This might be what that 32 needs to try to catch that 20, is someone from behind pushing him a little bit here, as it looks like Hernandez really missed his mark there or got a little nervous at that 17 to the inside of him because he just went straight up the track, but he kept his position here. But yeah, look at this. The 32 actually caught him to the end of that 20.
Yeah, he got a lot closer than he had been. Oh, caution is out for the first time down the back straight.
This is big.
Massive crash. Jose Mills, Colin Teague, Jamie Stammer Jr., Roger Ray. We have a lot of cars taken to the inside. Bippy Ruiz involved. And it looks like it was a lot of the smaller teams that got collected in that.
I don't know how you saw that, Joe, because I did not notice anything.
I just looked out the window and I saw a lot of lights around the racetrack, Trey. Lights are bad things.
Yeah, that is true. This was a big one, but are these guys going to be coming in?
Well, Trey, they are at about 47 laps to go, and the field window is 40 to 45 laps, so they have to try it, right? Because the odds are we're getting another yellow at Texas, but, I mean, the odds are also without this race car, we might not get another yellow. Yeah, so this might come into the strategy, Joe, but who's going to be the one to come off pit road first? And, Joe, remember to be careful, because how many times have we had pit road incidences here? Oh, man, last season we had about 2, and both of which involved Matthew Burnett. Unfortunately, they were none of his doing, but it just happened in that number 17. He's a little bit further up pit road, so I think he'll be fine. But as you can see there, Hernandez with that number 1 pit stall. Will that come into play on pit road? It definitely could. We'll have to see as I don't know if they took a while on that right side or not on that one. Well, the number 20 having a pretty good stop as they drop down the side, and there he goes. He's going to easily win the race. Big Clifton! Yeah, Noah Clifton, and this is just like what happened last season. For the 2nd straight season, one of the drivers running well last season, it was Keegan Thompson. This season, the underdog, Noah Clifton, has nowhere to go. Evan Hunter's into the back of the 43, and the 19 is involved as well.
Well, Joe, I called it.
Yep.
We gotta be careful with pit road, and I think Clifton's out. His car's smoking, is it not?
Yeah.
Where is
Look
he?
there he is.
There he is.
And Keegan Thompson is looking at a very familiar sight. From last season, he had maybe the fastest car here, but was involved in pit road issues with the number 30 of Sebastian Kukulon.
These guys got to get around Clifton. Oh, they're spinning behind now.
They were 3 wide coming off pit road, and Trey, I have no idea where Conrad Evans was trying to go in that.
I don't know either. He might be frustrated with how he's running right now, but that's no excuse to essentially almost take out Fitzwater there. And I mean, Fitzwater's not happy. Oh, he's trying to chase down. Look at Evans trying to get away from him.
Oh, I think he's lucky he got up on the racetrack, or else Fitzwater would have.
Did you see how nervous Evans got right there?
This is a whole
now these
mess.
guys are, these guys are trying to figure out stuff because they got held up by Clifton, and I don't think the 21 is the lead lap car.
No, 21 is on the tail end. He was down when he was already on pit road when these drivers came in, so he'll be tail end of the lead lap for this restart.
But there's a lot to break down ever since this caution came out, Joe.
Yes, there is. We have to go take a look what happened with the crash, then the crash on pit road, and then the crash leaving pit road. So hold your breath here on JIR TV. We'll be right back. Well, Trey, turn to it, Texas. We know it to be the breaking point, and right here, Nathan Stapleton just guns it, gasses it, and kind of just turns Jack Carter down into Jose Mills in the number 7.
Yeah, that's a very I don't know what to say there. What do you say?
I was looking to you to see if you knew, but right here, Baby Ruiz delivers a walloping, and then it's
watch
not
the
over
hit this
for
takes.
Stanworth, Ray,
all
then
the way
Teague
up on his
off
side.
of the 92, hard into the wall. Look at all the cars that took to the apron to get by. What a great job by a lot of drivers back there.
Yeah, because this definitely could have been a lot bigger than what it was with how the 7 and the 22 were both pretty much blocking the track, but some major hits here, Joe.
And unfortunately, it was just a lot of the smaller teams that got involved in this. The 4, the 92, the 55, the 7, the 49, I mean, the 21 as well. Just an unfortunate day for teams that did not need this, Trey.
Yeah, that's definitely not what they needed at all, and it's just sadly a byproduct of when you have 2 cars sideways in the middle of the track, you don't really have anywhere to go. You try to slow up, but by the time you do, it's just, like I said, you have very minimal time to do something, and it involves a lot of innocent guys in this.
Well, we'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. And here's another view of it, Trey, as the contact is made. There's the initial contact, and the crazy thing about this, they spun off of 2, and they're still wrecking down in turn 3.
Isn't that the fun part, though? Oh, that hit that 49 takes is just huge.
Yeah, it is, and you saw all the guys take to the inside, like Laura Chung. You saw the 22 of Baird, 57 Miller, Jordan Edwards, Lathan Strickland was back there, Jack Haas, Roberto Crown Jr. All those drivers, Trey, did really good jobs escaping through this in one piece.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, the smaller guys who we know have speed from time to time, if they can get through these big wrecks, they might be able to get it to the end of this thing. But one guy who was in a mid-tier team did not avoid the wreck because he wasn't near it, but he had something else coming his way.
Yeah, he's going to join the mid-tier teams, unfortunately, out of the race, and he was running so well here today. Had a shot at possibly a victory, if not definitely a top 10, and right here, entering into pit road, it's going to go fine for him until he gets through his pit stop and has to leave.
Yeah, I don't even know what actually caused this to go down, because I only saw the part to where he ran into the back of, it was Kennington, right?
Look, here we go.
Or it was the 77.
As they're getting the 4 tires on, it looks like a pretty good stop as well, which makes this just as unfortunate, as he's going to leave right here. He waits for some traffic to clear, and Jack Haas...
he came down into him.
Yeah, Jack Haas came down just like what we saw last season, and Evan Hunter's crew, I hope everyone's okay on that, because they were in the danger zone.
Yeah, and then more contact
Fitzwater.
there.
And then Lawrence got hit. And then right here, look how far back Evans is from Fitzwater.
Yeah, so what? Where is Evans even?
So he's still a ways back as cars are coming off pit road. There he is. Look at him.
I don't know what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
I don't think NASCAR is going to like that one very much.
Jason Albert, his first start in the 41, he got involved.
I don't know what Evans and then this is a little comical. Clearly Fitzwater's going to be upset, right?
Yeah, and Evans is trying to get he's trying to get back to his position as quickly as possible.
Watch this. He's going to I think Gary sees what's going on, so he's going to move out of the way. And then
41 probably wasn't happy with the 31 as well. I think he's trying to get up there and give him some business.
Well, added it to the list of people that don't like Evans.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fun to maybe have some people to go interview after this race.
Oh, I'm going to have a great time. I'm writing names down, Joe.
Well, this might be a guy who gets an interview as well. Mathis Wells has done very well so far here at the Texas Motor Speedway, dominating, leading the most laps so far, but the Roush Brigade is right behind him for this first restart of the day. Lights are out on the pace car tray, so we'll be going green this time. Lap number 25 is when we'll take the restart. Jack Carter on the tail end of the lead lap in the 21. Mathis Wells in the 20 is the current race leader, as he has been for most of this race. A lot of cars out from the crashes that occurred throughout this caution period, including Colin Teague, Roger Ray, Jamie Stammer Jr., Bibi Ruiz, and Jose Mills. Noah Clifton, who was running second entering pit road, involved in the crash on pit road, is now down in 35th. He'll probably finish 37th here today. Other cars with damage from pit road, like Evan Hunter, is down there. They're still on pit road trying to get damage repair, and actually he's taking his car to the garage tray, so he'll also be done. He'll finish in 37th. Jack Carter can get a few more spots there. We're going to have about 35 cars left running after this caution period. So Mathis Wells in the lead, second for Keyshawn Richardson, the points leader. Then Matthew Burnett, who won here last season, is third. Hernandez, the pole leader, is fourth, and Zachary DeLello puts another Roush car inside the top 5. Chris Jericho in 6th. Jordan Stout puts all 4 Roush cars inside the top 7. Yepez is 8th, Thompson 9th, and Matt Osgood with a good run in 10th. But Trey, watch for drivers back here with some damage, like the 2, the 41, the 19, the 31, all involved with stuff leaving pit road or on pit road. We'll see how the mid-pack goes for this first restart of the day. And there's the green flag here at Texas.
The 21 got a good jump.
Yeah, I think Mathis got a really bad jump, because look at Keyshawn Richardson up to the outside of the 20, but can't do anything with it.
Gonna say, if anything, that benefits Wells, because he's not really going to be able to pass Wells on the outside there, but this 17 might make a run to the inside.
Matthew Burnett for the lead on Mathis Wells. The past 2 Texas winners. Wells got a big enough run to get down in front of Burnett. They still run 1-2 as the racer 3-4. DeLello, who had a poor practice and a poor qualifying. They've found some speed overnight, obviously. He's up inside the top 3 here with Wells, continuing to lead. He has just dominated so far here, but the Roush cars are looking to end it. But DeLello goes for a 2nd and 1, and Jericho goes even lower.
Well, Joe, the saying is cautions bring caution, so do you think that's going to stand true here? Because these guys are really bunched up now.
Yeah, with how they're racing, this is a lot crazier than what we saw at the beginning of the race.
I mean, I know majority of these guys are probably hoping for a caution because they all came down pit road.
Yeah, they need to get about a lap or 2 more fuel than what they currently have, maybe even more for some drivers, right? Because different manufacturers have different fuel economy. Think about, Chris Jericho, who had a win earlier this season until he ran dry on fuel.
So we'll have to see what happens, but if this thing runs clean again, then a lot of these guys might be in trouble, and maybe that's why Burnett's falling back so far.
Yeah, maybe Burnett is starting to save already, or maybe his car's just not handling well. Here comes Samet Oskin, Trey. We talk about smaller teams seeming to always find a way to run well at Texas, as we have a battle for the lead. The teammates are going at it. Jericho and Wells into turn 1.
Looks like he made the move pretty clean. And look who is coming here, now battling for 2nd place and possibly even the lead.
Yeah, Jordan Stout got a flyer of a run and almost got to the inside Jericho right there into turn 3. That was close, but Jericho blocks it off. Wells falls back to 3rd, but in line
caution.
4th place. Yeah, another yellow is out. Strickland, Kirchner, Lawrence, and Baird, maybe Miller as well, have all piled up down into turn 3, and Lawrence sits in a cloud of smoke.
Hey, look at me, Joe. I caught it this time.
Yeah, these lights here at Texas, they are
hard to see.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them, though.
But if you're looking out the window, they're bright.
Yeah, they are. And wow. Well, Joe, caution brings caution, and it looks like the same area as the last one.
Yeah, down the backstretch. Now we'll see, Trey, because remember, they were short on fuel. Do they come down, or do they think that this caution is enough to get them to the end? As it looks, either this is a fake or the leader Jericho is coming in.
We'll have to see. Now, they got to be careful, because last time we came down, it looks like everyone's coming in. So, which is weird.
Jack
why
Haas.
They came down the first time?
Is Jack Haas staying out back there? 77.
Well, you might as well risk it, right?
Might as well, but now here's the thing. We're probably going to have gas and goes. You're going to be quick on pit road. Watch for
Geez.
contact.
Yeah, we already had it once this race. Twice this race, actually.
18 taking 2. Is he going to take... They're going to take... Oh, this is a mixed bag race. Some are taking 2, some are taking 4, some are taking none. 29 took none. He's out first. Jordan Stout took 2.
20 took 2.
The 18 took 4. He's the first off with 4 tires. Hernandez took 2.
I'm impressed there's no contact so far.
Yeah, it's been clean.
Huh.
Here comes Evans and Atkins. We know how they...
Oh, Evans blocked off his teammate.
And Eli Bryce with them. He's had trouble with both of them over the past 2 seasons, and I'm sure he loves seeing both of them right in front of him.
I'm impressed that was so clean.
Yeah, Jack Haas stayed out. He's going to be leading. 77.
So the 21's going to come in this time around, right?
Yeah, Jack Haas is going to come in, so that's going to put him back a lap down at the back of the pack, which is a classy move by the Wood Brothers team to get him out of the way. Wow, that's heavy.
Haas really backed off there.
Is he going to pit this time? He's lower.
So maybe he just wanted to lead the lap?
He didn't get to lead the lap.
Oh. So maybe he just didn't want to...
No, he's staying out.
Well, I'm confused by that maneuver, but all right then.
So Jack Haas, the only car to stay out on the racetrack. He'll inherit the lead for this restart. We'll go check out what happened. A crash coming off turn 2 once again. It involves a few more drivers like Lathan Strickland and Sarah Kirchner and Nolan Lawrence, among others. Trey, I'm getting a lot of deja vu here. Nolan Lawrence on the outside of 3 wide coming off turn 2, and Nathan Stapleton for the second straight caution. Same exact thing.
What is Stapleton doing? Watch this hit Lathan's going to take there. Ready? Oh, my goodness.
And then watch Lawrence as he bounced off the outside wall, back down to the pack of Kirchner. Nowhere to go. Hard hit driver's side.
And then, you know who skirts away from this?
Nathan Stapleton for the second straight time.
I don't know what's going through that 71's head, but I'm not sure. But, yeah, there were some huge hits there. I hope the 19's all right. And I definitely hope that
he drove away,
Lathan's all right, which, I mean, like you said, he did drive away, but I hope this 19's all right because that was a hard hit to the driver's side.
It was. Sarah Kirchner had absolutely nowhere to go. She could not react in time at all. No one would have been able to. And
no, I mean, and plus, I think she was getting pushed by the guys behind her, too.
I think it was Baird was right behind her as well. There was literally nothing anyone could have done in that situation. 19 just unfortunately bounced right in front of them. As we'll go take a look at this wreck one more time at full speed, just to show some of those hits like Lathan Strickland's into the inside concrete. And one more view is it, as they come off turn number 2, Stapleton into Lawrence down to Miller, and Lathan Strickland a hellacious hit into the inside concrete.
He goes from winning a race, 2 weeks ago, to eating concrete.
Yep.
A little later.
Yeah, and there's Lawrence's cloud of smoke as we had a mixed bag of strategy on pit road. The first car off took no tires. That was Sebastian Kukulon. Some cars took 2, some cars took 4. And if you're Jack Haas, you decide to stay on the racetrack and gamble with track position. We'll see how this restart goes here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Coming back green here just around the midpoint in the Samsung RadioShack 500 at the Texas Motor Speedway, Jack Haas plays some strategy games to get himself out in front for this restart. More cars to the garage and done, like Lathan Strickland, Nolan Lawrence, the 2 cars that took the hardest hit. Sarah Kirchner also took a hard hit. She's in the garage. Jack Carter now lapped down in the number 21 at the back of the pack. Miller has some damage. He'll be back in 31st, and a whole mixed bag of strategy here on the racetrack. The race leader, Jack Haas, did not come down pit road, so he's still questionable on fuel. But he's trying to play the track position game well. Kukulon took no tires, fuel only. He'll restart in second from the back of the field to start. Mathis Wells took 2, he's up to 3rd. Stout also took 2, he's in 4th. And Smet Oskin took 2 inside the top 5 for Haascar Motorsports. Hernandez from pole, homegrown hero, 6th place for number 1. Jericho, the first car on 4 tires, will restart in 7th. Zidell also on 4 tires, he's in 8th. Riley's Brotube is up in 9th, and Keyshawn Richardson, the points leader, back in 10th. Thompson is 11th, Burnett 12th. Yepez, Reed, and Collins are the front 15. The pace car is in, and Trey, we'll see how this mixed bag of strategy goes as the field's all jumbled up. We're back going, and Haas with a pretty good jump. Kukulon kind of caught sleeping there in number 29.
Yeah, but I mean, Joe, think of what the strategy Kukulon pulled to get himself up front here.
Yeah, he was starting at the back, and remember, Richmond, right? Went in as the points leader, but left way down because he was involved in someone else's mess. He's now trying to get the track position so that he can be ahead of any mess that happens. We're looking 3 wide, but Stout able to get down inside of Kukulon, and Haas trying to keep it all out in front. But here comes Stout to the inside, the number 6, and Hernandez come back to the front, the number 1 car.
Oh, Joe, we're all bunched up again. Well, it happened once. Does cautions bring more cautions?
Probably here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Kukulon ducked down to the bottom. Here's a man behind Hernandez who's had a dismal season, trying to get his way with a victory, his first in almost 2 seasons. It's Justin Zeidel pushing his way up inside the top 5 to 4th place.
Yeah, 24 is definitely... He's had strong races. It's pit road that really hurts him.
Yeah, he has had, think about Dover, where he moved his way through the field and then lost, 9, 10 positions on pit road and had to battle his way back up to 11th. That he got 3 wide right here. Kukulon's no tire gamble, not really working out. They only ran a few laps with those tires, but surprisingly, Trey, it's not really working out, but it's also not working out for Jericho, who has 4 tires.
Yeah, so I really don't know what these cars are handling like, so I can't say why that would be. I mean, for Jericho, he might just need time for his tires to warm up, right? But for Kukulon, I mean, he could have gotten dirt on the tires, maybe some debris or something on his tires that his car's not liking. So we'll have to see if maybe later in the run he can finally get it going, which now he's to the inside.
And Matheus Wells almost got clipped right there by Riley Spraytube. Great job by Riley getting up behind him and not clipping him as Spraytube now goes down to the bottom. DeLello, the 97, moves by Matheus Wells, who had dominated the early part of this race, but now Trey falling back as we get some laps into this race, and drivers have had pit stops to make adjustments on their cars. Now Matheus Wells not looking as strong as he did early on, but this man looking just as strong. Keyshawn Richardson, the points leader, going for second on last week's winner, Anthony Hernandez in the number 1 car.
He's made it work so far. Zeidel almost got into the wall there, but he looks like he's going to have the edge going into 3 and 4, so he should be able to clear him coming out of 4 here, which it looks like he's going to be able to now. Can he chase down that number 6, his teammate?
Well, Trey, here's the battle. Just, around 10th place. Eli Bright and Conrad Evans are looking to battle with this. Eli Bright currently scored in 10th. Evans in 11th. They had a little bit of a dust-up, I guess we'll say, at Richmond, where Evans spun Eli Bright from a top 5 position in the first few laps of the race. And Eli was none too happy, did not accept an apology from Evans, which in turn made Evans mad at Eli, saying, why don't you accept an apology? And then basically called him he only has his ride because of his name, basically, riding off his daddy's name. So, yeah, Evans not the most popular with that number 8 car.
Well, let's be real. Would you have? Oh, that was interesting. But would you have accepted Evans' apology after that if you were Eli?
It's hard to say, right? Some drivers would have accepted the apology, but with how early it happened and with where
and then this isn't the first time something's happened with Eli and an RCR car, right?
Or just Evans and another driver in general. So
yeah, Evans definitely has a reputation.
Yeah, but this team, Trey, they have a reputation of finding their way to the front of the field and somehow putting all their cars up there. Jordan Stout, Keyshawn Richardson are 1-2. Their teammate Matthew Burnett is back in 4th, and DeLello is now 5th. Trey, it is a Roush 1, 2, 4, 5, with Anthony as the only non-Roush car inside the top 5.
I don't know how they do that.
It's amazing, right? Here we go. We have 2 of them bound for the lead. Keyshawn Richardson, the points leader, going after Jordan Stout, who's looking for some redemption from his homestead disqualification. As back there, Hernandez trying to fend off Matthew Burnett to keep the 3rd spot, as Richardson moves out in front and clears Jordan Stout to lead lap number 41 here at Texas.
And here comes a Roush 1, 2, 3.
Matthew Burnett moving low as Eli Bright has passed Riley Spraytube back there, so Eli up to 8th, and you better watch out for the number 8 car, because there has been a weird trend with DEI cars. We have another battle for the lead. Stout coming right back after Keyshawn Richardson, but the DEI drivers, right, if they start on the front row, Trey, one of them seems to find victory lane. At Texas World, Hernandez qualified front row. Eli Bright won the race. At Talladega, we had the number 1 start in the number 8 start in the front row, and Latham won, and then Hernandez also won when a DEI car started on the front row. So Trey, there was it just seems like there's some sort of trend that's happening here with these DEI cars, and maybe Eli could find a way back up to spoil the party and win another race at Texas from the back of the field without ever really showing his way at the front of the field.
It definitely could, but if he wants to do that, Joe, he has to pass. Well, you can see them all in the frame right now.
4 Roush cars. What a great family photo.
All 4. Oh, that's going up in the main office. You already know that. But
Right there.
all
Perfect shot.
four Roush cars are, you know, leading this thing.
You have Stout leading, Richardson second, Burnett third, DeLello fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Roush Racing. What an unbelievable race they're having so far.
Well, I guess DeLello didn't want fourth anymore, so
Yeah.
he's gonna go take third.
Those are the only two Roush cars to not win a race this season. DeLello and Burnett, they're trying to find a way to do so here today. DeLello up to third, and now Burnett might surrender fourth because here comes Kugelon with a nice run, and he's really settled in with his tire call. But as we have, you know, an RCR car up among the Roush cars battle, now DEI cars coming into battle with a Petty car right in between. Let's go to our Advanced Auto Parts question of the week. Last week we had asked what is the best short track on the Winston Cup Series schedule, and the fans said that Bristol was the best with 44% of the vote.
I think I said Bristol.
You did say Bristol.
Nice.
I was a little shocked that North Wilkesboro didn't get more love. In my opinion, I think North Wilkesboro is the best as Richardson passes Stout back for the lead.
But it's Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, but you think about the last two races at Bristol, do you remember what happened in them?
Didn't Hernandez fly in one?
He flew one, but what racing stuff happened?
Oh, there was an absolute domination.
Yeah, so that was my... I was a little confused about that.
No, it was domination by this guy right here, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, yeah. And then the previous season was domination by Zeidel starting to move his way through the field at number 24.
So, I mean, hey, maybe these guys, maybe the fans like to occasionally see just a straight up, you know, good car win the race every once in a while.
Maybe. It's just a little weird when you start, you know, fans are like, Texas World is amazing, give it 2 dates. And they're like, give Bristol 2 dates too.
You know, let them do what they want to do.
I guess so. But now, our Advanced Auto Parts question of the week here for the Texas Motor Speedway races. We've had Roush Racing do well this season. Keyshawn Merchant leading the points. The RCR cars have done well in points with all three of them top 5. And DEI has gotten all three of their drivers a win. So, Trey, which of those three teams has been most impressive this season? RCR, Roush, or DEI?
You'd have to go DEI, right? I mean, they went from a team
where
who...
they were last season and the season prior?
Yeah, because, I mean, RCR, their championship winning team, everyone knows that, right? Oh, that was close between the 48 and the RCR 29. But, I mean, RCR, they know they're a winning team. What did you say? The other one was Roush?
Yep, Roush.
Look at them right now. Do I have to say anything?
No.
But you would definitely have to go with, one, DEI, because 2 out of their 3 drivers got their first career win this season alone. And then Strickland is seems to always be somewhat in the talks every season we have. So if you have to choose one, it's definitely DEI.
All right, we'll see what the fans think of which team has been most impressive so far this season. And here's 2 drivers that have been impressive as of the last few weeks. Jay Randall, Justin Zeidel, Frederick Motorsports. They both finished inside the top 5 last week at Richmond. Now they're both running top 5 again here at Texas with Zeidel, remember, on 4 tires, moving up to 4th and trying to battle the Roush cars at the front. Can Justin Zeidel find a way to get Hendrick Motorsports their first win of the season? The 3 of the Hendrick cars were so fast in practice, and then qualifying came around. None of them qualified top 15. So Justin Zeidel, we know the car pretty good in race trim, wasn't so good in qualifying trim, but he's moved his way up from his poor starting spot and now within range of the front 3.
Well, it's still weird to see 3 cars be the same team.
And 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Really, the top 5 are locked out by 2 teams alone.
Yeah, it is Roush versus Hendrick at the front of the field. As we look a little bit further back, Eli Bright has faded now to 13th, so obviously his car not really agreeing as of late. Chris Jericho, remember, he bolted on 4 tires, thought that would be a good move for him. He's currently back in 18th. He's fallen from the restart. Brent Sears, championship rival from last season, he's down with them in 19th, and they haven't made much progress through the field. And Siri, sees 2 teammates running inside the top 5. Zeidel getting his elbows out. Oh my gosh.
Wow. I don't know if Zeidel really hammered it through or if the 97 just died off.
You know what I think it was? It was Zeidel saying, I have lifted so many times this season and had stuff happen to me. I just can't lift this time. I need to take the run and make it work to get to 3rd place because we're getting down, Trey. We're nearly at 10 laps to go.
I don't know how they kept that clean.
It was impressive, and glad they kept it clean because otherwise we would have seen 2 cars spinning in front of the field.
Do you see any contact on either one of those sides?
Yeah, it's surprisingly clean on both sides. Maybe some scratches and some dents that we can't see from this angle, but
That was impressive. But I think, like you said, Zeidel's had enough.
Yeah, and he's now gaining on the front two, trying to get up to Stout and Richardson first and second. Rando, he's trying to look by DeLello, and this battling among the front five, bringing the other Roush car Matthew back into it. Maybe the front row of Anthony Nez and Matt as well, can have a say. Kukulon and Luke Rennie from Robert Yates Racing also here, and Tim Gary, the lone MB2 car left because Hunter had collision on pit road. Gary trying to move up inside the top 10. You have Pez right behind. In 12th, then you have Atkins and Eli Bright, and they're pulling away from Collins and Evans. Then you have Chris Jericho right there in the 18 as well. So Trey, this pack is spread out. We might stay caution-free to the end, but here we go for the lead, and Zeidel's a run onto the front two.
Is he going to be able to make a move going into 3 here? I think Richardson blocked that off pretty well, but Joe, this 24 is on rails right now, and honestly, I think he's the fastest one out there.
Well, he has those 4 fresh tires, Trey, so maybe he's starting to make them work. Maybe as this run goes on, they're starting to work out well. Here's the battle for 5th place as Jay Reno got by to 4th. He's catching the front 3. Burnett gets to 5th. DeLello falling back to 6th, and now maybe even further. Here comes Hernandez and Mathis Wells, the 2 front row starters. At the front, Zeidel ran lower than Richardson through 1 and 2. Got to run down the backstretch, but so far, Trey can't make it stick and stays right behind Richardson off into 3 and 4, and looking again for a pass through 3 and 4.
Ain't this a picture right here? Roush, Hendrick,
And then Roush.
and then Roush.
This battle, DEI, Joe Gibbs, and there's Richard Childers Racing, who have not had good days at all. Kukulon with that strategy call, the good strategy call, obviously, to put himself inside the top 10, but the other two just trying to hang on to top 15s. Here we go for the lead.
For a lead.
Justin Zeidel trying to get out front and lead here at Texas, and maybe he'll be able to pull away as they go through 3 and 4. Stout under fire from Jay Randall behind, and now Justin Zeidel clears. He leads at Texas for Hendrick. Can he pull away? We're in the final 10 laps, and here comes Stout, but Richardson comes back. I'm into turn 1.
A little team play right there. They both went down to the bottom together, but that's just going to really, that might let Richardson pull away a little bit here as those two are side by side for second. Now Stout's clear, but that 48's not going away.
When you think about it, this is another type of Roush picture because Jay Rando, Trey, he's on loan from Roush Racing to drive for Hendrick in that number 48 this season.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something if the 48 can win beating 2 Roush cars?
Yeah, that would. Well, Roush is seemingly going to put him in a 5th car next season, so I guess that would just be good for Ron McTrain, the Roush owner, saying, I think we have a pretty good stable of drivers.
He's going for the 2nd place right now, but Stout is able to hold him off, and it looks like that 24 might be dying off a little bit there.
Or is he saving for one last run, Trey? Coming around to 7 laps to go. Is he cooling the tires down to make one last run to try and do it at just the right point? Those 4 trying to stay ahead. Then 5th place, Burnett trying to close in. Mathis Wells is all by himself in 6th. DeLello's fade back to 7th, but still a good run. Hernandez is 8th. Tim Gary right behind him in 9th, and Luke Rennie 10th. Then you have this big battle. Kukulon fading back. That no tire call, Trey, I think it might finally be starting to take a toll on that number 29 car.
Yeah, I think it definitely was. It was something to look forward to. Maybe they were hoping on more cautions, but they just didn't get them. So it definitely might be hurting him here. But this 48 is not letting up on Stout right now, who Stout seems to be the buffer car for Richardson here to lead the way. But how long is that 6 going to be able to hold on? Because it seems like that 48's trying to get past. It looks like it might be peaking right now, but not quite yet.
No, Jay Rando needs to make this pass work so that he can have a shot. Because I don't think right now Stout is fast enough right up to the back bumper, pushing him basically through the quad oval. He's looking half a car lower, now going all the way to the bottom. Rando for 2nd on Stout, into 1. Can he complete the pass through 1 and 2, then run down the 99 of Richardson?
Now the 48 has his sights set on that 99 here as the 24 is going to take advantage of Stout having to slow up so he didn't hit the wall, but Stout still holds him off.
Zeidel back in it, but can Rando be the one to lead this train of cars up onto Keyshawn Richardson? Back around to 4 laps to go for the points leader, Keyshawn Richardson. He already has, Trey, a very good points gap over the field like Evans and Kukulon. And a win today would extend it out to where he is probably a race ahead of everyone in points. Can he hold on, or can someone run him down like Jay Rando, Jordan Stout, or Justin Zeidel? 3 to go at the line. Rando, Trey, I think, is closing just a little bit.
I was going to say Rando had a big run there on the backstretch, but Joe, is it going to be enough? It's 3/10 last time by, but this time as a cross and start finish, it'll be
10th.
He gained a 10th.
With 3 to go, he would be right there at the checkered flag and ahead of him by about half a car length. but can he keep it up is the big question. Down the back straightaway, Stout is being worried to death by Justin Seidel for third, and allows Brando to only focus out in front in his windshield and not have to look out the mirror. And once again, another run through 3 and 4.
I think the 48 ran a slightly lower line here. We'll see if it helped him any whatsoever at all. As we crossed again, he gained a very small amount.
2 laps to go. Can Randall mount a charge in these final 2 laps to get by the points leader Keyshawn Richardson and get Hendrick Motorsports their first victory on the season? Down the back straightaway, coming to the white flag this time by. Randall was the highest starting Hendrick car in 16th place. He's looking to end it in victory lane. Keyshawn Richardson, the points leader, looking to extend the points with another win on the season. Here is the white flag, the final lap in the Samsung RadioShack 500.
He gained still, but Joe, with how much he's gaining, I don't know if it's going to be enough. You can visibly see him starting to catch this 99, but I think Richardson's just a little too tough for 48.
I think Randall's going to run out of laps as they race down the back straightaway for the final time. Through turns 3 and 4, Keyshawn Richardson, the current points leader in the Winston Cup Series. Rando tries a big dive in 3 and 4. He'll get so close to victory lane, but it's going to be his teammate for next season, Keyshawn Richardson, reigning supreme here at Texas.
I think Richardson might owe Stout a thank you because he held off that 48 for a couple of laps, and if I didn't hold him off, Joe, I think that 48's there.
Yep, I agree with that. If Stout lets the 48 by a lap sooner, I think Rando is probably side by side with Richardson coming to the checkered flag, and we have a mad dash, and who knows, maybe the 48 comes out on top in that one.
But that's nothing to take away from this 99 and Keyshawn Richardson, because, I mean, Joe, he is the points leader for a reason, and like you said, I think with this win here, he's going to have a demanding lead on second place in the point standings.
Yeah, you'd have to think, because Evans and Kuklon, who were second and third in points, did not fare well here today. They both finished outside the top 10, and with Richardson winning, that is a major points haul for the current points leader. But you think back to Jericho last season, he had about a race gap over drivers around this time in the season, but lost it all at the next race at Lowe's. So
it's definitely not over, Joe. It's definitely not over.
Just makes it so that Richardson can have a bad race and still leave as the points leader.
Maybe we'll have 2 years in a row where the points leader's upside down going into Charlotte or Lowe's.
Richardson's hoping that does not happen. As we take a look at the finishing results here for the Samsung RadioShack 500 at Texas. It's Keyshawn Richardson, the points leader, leaving this one with another win on the season. What a season so far it's been for Keyshawn Richardson. Second place goes to Jay Rando. Very good drive there at the end. He was so close to victory lane, right on the bumper of that number 99. Jordan Stout ends up in third. Fourth place to Justin Seidel. And fifth place to Matthew Burnett in the number 17. So the top 5, 3 Roush cars, 2 Hendrick cars here today. Sixth place to Mathis Wells. He started second in this race, led a lot of laps early on. A very solid day for that Joe Gibbs Racing team. Zachary DeLello ends up in 7th here today. So all 4 Roush cars, top 7, just continuing their success these past 2 seasons. Tim Gary ends up in 8th, Luke Rainey in 9th, so a good day for him. That's well needed for that number 88 team. And Anthony Hernandez in the number 1, started on pole, led early, but ends up in 10th here today. Justin Atkins, the highest of the Richard Childress Racing cars, but 11th place for that number 30. Great run for Yepez all day long. Started 14th, ended up in 12th. That's a well-needed result. Eli Bright 13th, Mitchell Collins 14th, and Conrad Evans ends up in 15th. They have Kukulon on the no tires. He faded back to 16th during that last run. Jericho on the 4 tires never could make it work. 17th place for that number 18. Roberto Crown Jr. ends up in 18th, Brett Sierra 19th, and Riley Spurgeon in 20th. Nathan Stapleton caused 2 yellows here today. He ends up in 21st. Keegan Thompson, not the run he was looking for, in 22nd. Hunter Reed down here along with Laura Chung and the number 83 of Jordan Edwards. And you look down, Fitzwater had damage from that pit road issue. Sumet Oskin faded in number 26, and Jason Albert, last car in the lead lap, in the number 41. Jack Haas had to come down pit road for fuel, so the strategy did not work out for the number 77. He finishes 32nd, 1 lap down. Jack Carter was a lap down in 31st, and a whole list of cars out from the crashes we had here today at the Texas Motor Speedway. And as we mentioned, as we look at the points leaving the 13th race, it's Keyshawn Richardson with a massive points gap, and trade the Richard Childress boys and Richardson's teammate have to find a way to somehow run that number 99 down to have a shot at the championship themselves.
Don't you love strategy races, Joe?
I do. Jack Haas is going to love them, though, I don't think.
No, well, that's a different story. But, I mean, yeah, it's these RCR boys definitely have a hill to climb. But, I mean, if they can do anything like they did in this first couple races of the season, Joe, if they put a string of good races together, I think they pull Richardson right back in.
and we'll be looking forward to the next race because last season the Richard Childress guys had some controversy in this one, and we'll have to see if it happens once again at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. It's the longest race of the season, the World 600, but let's just hope it's not as long as it was last season.
I don't know, Joe. I don't know. I'm gonna bring a sleeping bag just in case.
Yeah, you should do that because you never know. We could get some red flags, could get something that takes forever, but we'll have to see how the longest race of the season goes. We've seen some chaotic racing over the last few seasons in that one, and we saw a photo finish in 2000 between you and Brett Sear, with Brett coming on top by a few thousandths of a second. We'll see if it ends just as close this season in the World 600, but today is all about Keyshawn Richardson. The points leader wins another one on the 2002 season. Congratulations to he and the number 99 team on winning the Samsung RadioShack 500 here at Texas. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long here on JRTV, but tune in next week for the World 600 race number 14 and the second Winston Noble 5 race.